12:25 p.m. on this Thursday afternoon, May 28th, 2026. We honestly have nothing out here to view as far as the sky is concerned other than this. And it is this that we are going to speak about. Let me dim this down and let's look at this once again. It looks like we're getting the crucifix formation, right? The cross, if you will. Interesting. And well, let's go ahead and carry on. So the United Nations has come out and released a report pertaining to climate change and the factor that, and I quote, or at least I am quoting a quote that I heard, the earth is building up heat. And we seem to have quite a lot of issues with temperatures these days. And which, of course, I guess we could also call it global warming, if you will, because once again, the earth is building up heat. And they say it's because of this. Okay, so why? Because if you study and examine my content, you'll realize that when viewing this light in the sky, that the appearance of its size is highly illusionary. In many recordings, I have captured the sun as it is behind clouds, if you will, and it shows a more realistic size of what it is, or possibly the distance of its location. But regardless, it is much smaller than what we take for granted. Now, and once again, I have shown this in quite a few recordings. A lot of what we see in the skies is highly illusionary because of water. But not only that, we now have what they claim to combat this global warming is to spread reflective particles into the sky to reflect the light from this object here. Well, we know that those operations indeed take place, stratospheric aerosol injections, and there's plenty of documentations out there pertaining to these operations of reflecting the light, supposedly back out into space to cool down the planet. But I beg to differ and argue that narrative, or against that narrative, because what these particles are actually doing, as well as possible gases and who knows what else, because we also know that there's salt being spread and dirt and all kinds of stuff through these aircrafts, let's just call them aircrafts, as a loose terminology to describe what is casting these miles and miles long trails that is still classified as condensation trails. But what's it actually doing? Well, once again, it is providing an illusion to the size of this light right here, to where what we see when we observe this light is mostly a glare, which hides the actual size of the light behind the glare. Furthermore, all these particles is providing not a shielding to reflect the light, but rather, once again, to create this glare, which traps in that much more heat. Because after all, this milky white haziness in the air that we, well, have been seeing on the increase over the last quite a few years now, actually, but it's really ramped up within the last 5 years. And so therefore, within my observational opinions, all of this overhead activity is actually increasing the likelihood of the heating up scenario. Because this Milky Way haziness is actually one major cloud, if you will, in which clouds are known to trap in the heat. And that's my 27 cents worth on this 28th day of May, 2026. What do you think? Miss Skywise out. 3:25 p.m. on this Thursday afternoon, May 28th, 2026. Well, we just had a flyover of a small engine aircraft. I thought it was going to come into viewing, so I real quick ran out here to no avail. So we'll go ahead and check out our sky situation at large right now. And, well, okay. Now we've seen it. 3:50 p.m. Oh, hey, here we go. We got something we can target now. I just came out here to express a thought, as I had quite the, I don't know how to coin it, as being an epiphany, a revelation, or what, I don't know. But I've been sitting inside, wasting away this beautiful day, monitoring the uploading process, with the idiot box just as noise in the background to occupy my mind, if you will. But my mind decided to occupy itself with its own thoughts. And one of those thoughts was, you know, I find it highly amazing that through my inquiries, where'd he go? I lost him. Oh, through my inquiries through the Google search engine, which is, you know, one of the world's so-called smartest machines, right? But I find it just crazy when this so-called one of the world's smartest machines starts agreeing with my theories. Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I think I provided quite a few examples within my community postings. So if you get a chance, check them out. And pertaining to community postings, big shout out to Jeremy Vicious, the channel Jeremy Vicious. And Jeremy, thank you, man. Once again, I'll say it verbally, you are quite the golden guy to be sharing my content the way that you have been. Okay, so as this is, well, I think I have kind of lost track of it. Yeah, back here. As this is going off into the distance, I think I will do the same. Because, well, once again, there's just virtually nothing else to be seen. Ooh, well, except for whatever that was that just flew right in front of me. And yeah, once again, I need to get this back onto the power cord and resume that uploading process to the best of, well, I can't say my capabilities. I guess maybe my capabilities find a decent location for the phone to acquire proper signal and all that good stuff. And yeah, once again, I missed another opportunity to capture that small engine aircraft that's been circled around 3 times. I'm not hearing it right now, but it's not to say it won't loop around once again. And whether or not I'll catch it, more likely, not so likely. So on that note, Skywise out. 7:10 in the p.m. on this Thursday evening, May 28th, 2026. Trees. Weeds. Trees and weeds. You know, there's many out there that when they see such scenes as this, or scenery, the only thoughts that come to mind is, yeah, so what? It's just trees and weeds. What are they good for? They do nothing. No, it'd be better off just to get rid of them. Because we need the land to work for us. Just like we need the masses to work for us. After all, we need the masses to work the land for us. This is a narrative today that has been around since history was first recorded. And of course, many times, it is through those so-called myths and legends of gods and goddesses, to where even religions originated from those earliest stories of gods and goddesses. And throughout all of history, most of the gods and goddesses, or even those that lay claim to the title or name of being God, originates from the sky, or more so in connection with clouds within the sky. But once again, ever since history was first recorded, it has been about man's destruction to further advancements within constructions. Today we have that same scenario due to this digital age, which is to be the golden age. But it cannot come about unless there is further destruction in order to enhance that much more construction. And today it is the destruction of all of this in order to go more like this, so that more of this can be built rather than rebuilding on already previously demolished sites. And now it is, because of this age, just that much more of this rather than this for such buildings known as data centers, for very, very large, once was agricultural fields, to become solar farms with solar panels covering thousands of acres, hundreds to thousands of acres. And of course, in order to help generate just that much more power for the new data centers being constructed everywhere, because we need AI to solve all of man's problems. We need more of this, wherever this is, right here. We need more of this because of the narrative that we're getting too much of this. Right? Look at that. Oh yeah. I know that we're having some issues with focusing. Always the case these days. And so we also have these nuclear powered facilities to tie into this ever increasing grid. And of course, as above, so below. They want to tie everything as far as the grid in with the grid in outer space via satellites. But you know, all of the destruction for further advancements in technological constructions doesn't stop here. No, they want to take it out here to the moon and then to Mars. Yeah, the thing is, well, according to many, Mars has already gone through that whole process of once being a live, thriving planet to what it is now, a barren wasteland after advanced civilizations and warfare took place. But of course, those are just so-called theories. But should it be immoral, even if it's just theories? But who's in control of all this destruction for more construction? Who has it always been? Those original stonecutters. Yeah. If you do your research, well, global society has the majority of control of this planet. And you know, even that goes back to those earliest stories of mankind's history that were originally written thousands of years ago. And yet the story has not really changed all that much. And what has already happened is due to happen once again. And those are my thoughts this night of May 28th, 2026. Take care. Have a great one. Thank you for watching. And Skywise out.